Being safe for your marriage or being safe for your spouse means that you will not rely upon your own self-sufficiency or your own pride in recovery. I think if you were to itemize out in an Excel spreadsheet the number one complaint from unfaithful spouses is that they feel like their recovery is up to them and they are strong and their willpower is enough and they're never going to do this again. If there's one thing that betrayed spouses hear almost universally from the unfaithful spouse who says they want to try and save their marriage, it's, I promise I'll never do this again. I swear I'll never do it again. So therefore, I'm safe and we don't need to do any courses, any counseling, any therapy, any intensives, any boot camps, anything like that, because I'm going to white knuckle it on the steering wheel of recovery and we're going to be fine. That is the voice of pride. It's the same voice that I hear from people that say, oh, listen, I appreciate the video blogs, but I'm not like Samuel. I didn't do all those things. I just had an emotional affair, or I just did this, or I just did that, and I'm sorry. I don't think your spouse feels that way. It may have just been an emotional affair to you, but you are denying the significance of your affair because more spouses statistically will tell you that an emotional affair hurts more than a physical affair. I'm not making a blanket statement. I'm just telling you that the studies would suggest that betrayed spouses in upwards of about 60% say that an emotional affair is worse than just a physical affair. But I digress. Pride makes us unsafe because we are taking relapse, our recovery efforts, our commitment to the future of never acting out, of being a safe person, and we're hanging them over our own shoulders saying, I can do this, when in fact, our own history has proven that we can't do this because we promised to be faithful. We committed to be faithful. We committed to one person, and here we are, 2, 3, 10, however many years later, and we have had either one affair or multiple affairs. You see, time and time again, and I was like this too, unfaithful spouses will say, look, we don't need to do all these things. I realize the error of my ways. I see the hurt and the pain in your eyes. Why would I ever want to do this again? And early on, it's believable. When you have to look into the eyes of your spouse who is devastated because of your choices, yes, early on, man, you wholeheartedly never want to do it again. But then real life creeps in. 6 months, a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road. You're not living like this anymore. The hurt isn't so real. Everyday life has creeped in. And if there hasn't been lifestyle adjustments of accountability and a whole host of other things, it is very likely, statistically it is off the chart likely that the unfaithful spouse will relapse unless they get help from an expert who's been through infidelity before, who has an extensive history of treating infidelity. I'm sorry, you can't debate the statistics, and so many times we think we are the exception. Well, they relapse, but I'm not going to relapse. It's really paramount that if you want to be a safe person, you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get help. You have to be willing to say, look, what do you, betrayed spouse, need for me to feel safe? Sometimes it's accountability measures. Sometimes it's a tracker on your phone. Sometimes it's all your social media passwords, your email passwords. It is having no unaccounted for time. It is having no unaccounted for part of your life. Now, the immediate comeback is, Samuel, that's ridiculous. Am I going to have to live like this forever? Probably not. But if you are so desperately committed to restoring your marriage, why would you want to have something so simple as an email password keep you from establishing safety with your spouse? Why would you be so hung up on your Facebook or your Snapchat or your Instagram password and let that be a stumbling block to creating safety in the most important relationship in your entire life? So I don't see it as, oh, I'm going to be a doormat and, oh, I can't believe I'm going to be married to, an investigator the rest of my life. Who cares? At least you will be married to them the rest of your life. You see, if you are committed to recovery, there will be humility. If you are wanting to be a safe person, you'll humble yourself and say, I have nothing to hide. What would you like to see? What would you like to have access to? Samantha has access to everything. She knows where I'm at any moment. She can go onto the phone through Find My iPhone, and she can know where I'm at. We don't live like that, but it's become a lifestyle. I don't have anything to hide. She can get into all my email if she needs to. She can get into all my social media stuff. She's not one to use social media, but I will tell you, if I post something that's a little bit weird or whatever, her friends tell her, and later on at night she'll say, hey, there was a little social media post today. And we'll talk about it, and it's funny. But I will tell you, at a very humble, grassroots level, how committed are you to creating safety in your marriage? How committed are you to creating safety in your recovery? Because if it's not at the forefront of who you are in your everyday life, I promise you, momentum will not be there for long. You will not be able to establish vulnerability with your spouse because you're not willing to humble yourself and invite accountability into your life. And I hear the retorts all the time. Oh my gosh, those people are weird. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I don't like those people. I'm not like them. You know what? What matters most is your commitment to create safety to your spouse. If it means you have to sit with some people that you don't immediately vibe with or gel with, but yet you're creating safety in the heart and in the mind of your spouse, what does it matter? As you may or may not have gathered, I talk a lot about the EMS weekend. And I'll talk to people who will say, look, Samuel, we're thinking about coming to the weekend, but we're really nervous because, man, we're such a mess, or we're in so much pain, or, we've done this, and gosh, we don't know if we're going to fit in. And to some people, not everyone, because everyone's in a different position, but to some people I say, do you think you're coming to a financial peace seminar? Like, do you think you're the only one who's coming due to infidelity? Like, we're all a train wreck. Like, why do you think that you are any better or any worse? I mean, we're all a mess. We're all devastated. In the eyes of every betrayed spouse is devastation, heartbreak, and crushing disappointment with life and with their spouse. Welcome to a level playing field. And I really want to just encourage you today. You can find safety. Right now, you are as safe as you want to be for yourself and for your spouse. You are as safe as you want to be right now. You can be as safe as you want. The choice is yours. The choice is not your spouse's. It's not your spouse's fault. It is your fault, or to your credit, how safe or unsafe you are today.